So just because I don't want to work 20 hours a week, which is crazy. Can you imagine having to work 20 hours a week? So I don't want to work. You take all of my benefits away. The benefits that you have allowed me to use for 13 years with no warning at all. The government has enabled this behavior for 13 years to where I have not had to work a day in my life. 13 years of almost $10,000 a month in government aid. And now, because you signed some stupid bill that says I have to work if I want to get food stamps, and because I don't want to, you take it all away, no warning. How am I supposed to feed my 6 kids? How am I supposed to support my 6 kids? How am I supposed to pay rent? How am I supposed to get my nails done? How am I supposed to go drive down to the corner store when I have no money for gas? And you want me to go get a job, but you don't want to give me gas money? This is how the real world works? At 35 years old, now you decide you want to take it away?
They literally cut my food stamp card off. Zero balance. They took everything. So I told my husband, and he says to me, as I'm crying, and he says to me, well, maybe you'll lose some weight now. God, why did I vote for him? I didn't know this was going to happen. I can't go get a job. Is there anybody out there that can help me, please?
Well, what do we have here? Not the brunette sister of the Princess Bride albino crying about food stamps. I'm even gonna skip past your husband's toxic energy. Talk about the fact you can't just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I did manage to go through this creator's account, and boy, honey, you are on TikTok a lot. There are so many reposts. You know what you could do with all that time if you stop being on TikTok? You'd probably get a job. What's crazy about this algorithm is that sometimes you end up on the wrong side of TikTok, and you weren't on our side of TikTok where we were telling you Donald Trump does not care about poor people. Asking for help is wild. You have over 100,000 followers somehow on this account, so you're monetizing this content. You know what you're doing. This is actually giving exactly the people that Donald Trump wants to cut off, the people who want handouts. Meanwhile, there's immigrants and people that are working hard to contribute to this country.
To think most of these MAGA voted for this guy. Meanwhile, they were aware that he was gonna take away some of the benefits they've been enjoying. But now that is affecting them directly, they are now coming out to cry. Now, like I said before, is the entitlement. Like 20 hours to work, you think 20 hours is too much to just work for your own good? Like, I get it if you're sick or you have a disability or something, but the fact that you're a perfect human being and you're here on social media being entitled that you can't work, you're not supposed to work, you don't want to work, you can work 20 hours, you're not built to work. So who is built to work? Who is built to put into the system while you benefit? You see, this is one of the entitlements that I was talking about. I get it. It is important that people get some of these benefits, but you're ruining it for the people that actually need these benefits. And snaps and food stamps is not for people that will just sit in their homes and enjoy their lives, but it's for people that while they are working and they fell on hard times, they can always go back to the system and get help from the system. But the ideology to MAGA before voting, they thought it was a bunch of colored people, black Latinos, that are solely on food stamps and they are doing nothing. They are just relaxing in their homes and just enjoying the benefits. But now they are finding it real hard. It's literally a F around season, and they are finding it for themselves, and they are in delusion because they are one of the highest beneficiaries of snaps. They are, but now that they are finding out that they're not going to be getting any more snaps, now they are on this social media crying out, regretting why they voted for Trump, regretting why the stamps or the food stamps are being taken away. Meanwhile, he told you that he was going to do all those things. It's written in his 2025 project. He said it. He said he was gonna take some of these things. He told you, but you went ahead and you voted him because you were thinking it was just gonna affect a little group of people, a group of people that you do not pay attention to, or you do not care if they eat or survive. Like, now that is affecting you rightly, now you're coming out on this social media and being entitled and crying out loud. So guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, welcome on board. If you haven't subscribed by now, please hit subscribe and share this video. I still have more clips for you, so stay tuned.
But no, you just want to be able to stay at home. You know what? I send you my concepts of thoughts and prayers, and I guess also concepts of food stamps. And also, dump your husband.
Hey guys, look, if you're one of the creators on here complaining about your temporary loss of SNAP benefits and you're trying to figure out why you're not getting a ton of support and sympathy, it's because most of us recognize that what you're actually complaining about is no longer having access to our money, no longer having access to our money. Like that's really what you're complaining about.
Lock in. We about to fact check this shit. First, if you fuck that podcast, let's get it. What the hell are you talking about? I think people are forgetting that SNAP benefits are literally a temporary fix. These programs have time limits, and after that time limit, you have to recertify to get back in the program. And the crazy part is, most people that are on SNAP are people like you and I. It was reported that 70% of people who have SNAP and Medicaid have full-time jobs, meaning most people on SNAP pays taxes. You are basically saying that just because an individual falls in hard times, they shouldn't join a program that they could benefit from, even if they paid for it. If you really want to know where your tax dollars are going to, it's the Department of Defense. In 2023, 5,000 of our taxpayer dollars went into the military. But you're mad that you potentially paid $500 for SNAP benefits? I mean, 70% of people who receive SNAP benefits are either elderly, children, or disabled. But we already know how you feel about disabled people. Reports also show that only 48% of people receive SNAP benefits for over 20 months. And I'm confused. I thought this was America first.
I voted for him for lower grocery prices. He promised me cheaper prices on groceries. And that has not happened. Not only has that not happened, I am getting my food stamps taken. I am getting my cash assistance taken. I am getting my Section 8 taken. I am getting all my welfare governments taken. I did not ask for this. Yes, I would not have voted for him if I knew this was going to happen.
Do you know what drives me insane about these people that say that if I would have known, I wouldn't have voted for him, or I did not vote for that? Yes, you did. The first thing that bothers me is yes, you did. You see, you voted for those things. You just thought it would happen to someone else. You were perfectly fine with other people losing programs, losing things that would benefit them. You just didn't think it would touch you. You thought you were safe from losing these programs. And the other part is they say they didn't know. Bull crap. Bull crap. The left, independents, lots of different economic experts, doctors, scientists have been screaming about all the horrible things that Donald Trump would do. We told you about Project 2025. We told you how many times his name was listed in Project 2025. And we told you how many of his own staffers were in there as well or helped write it. But you guys didn't believe us. You guys said fake news. We tried to warn you. You didn't either want to listen, or your bigotry and your racism, your homophobia and your sexism didn't allow you to see what was coming. So the bed that you made, you now have to lie on. The sad thing is that so many of us are in the same bed with you, but we didn't vote that way. We knew that these things were going to happen. We knew that this was going to cause havoc for everybody. And look, I'm sorry for you. I feel horrible that you're going to lose all these benefits, but you did vote for this. So if you want something to change, I suggest you call your congressperson and tell them to put a leash on Donald Trump and stop him in Congress. I suggest, instead of just coming on this app and whining and complaining about what you yourself created, you call your representative and do something about it. Otherwise, we here on the left and independent, we don't care. We warned you. All my love.
Wait, what percentage of Trump voters do you think don't know that food stamps and SNAP benefits are the same thing? Is this an ACA Obamacare type situation? Oh my God, November is coming. Like, how many of them understand that Thanksgiving is going to look a little different this year because they're not getting those food stamps, EBT, SNAP, whatever it is. And some of these fuckers are celebrating. They're celebrating for themselves to go hungry. Oh my God. This is natural selection. We're watching it in real time. Because at least the ones on the left who rely on these benefits didn't vote to lose them. I just looked it up. Pennsylvania stopped giving these benefits on the 16th of October. I just saw a video of a woman saying that she hasn't fed her kids in days, and this would explain it. They're going to starve their own citizens to avoid opening up the government and voting to release the Epstein files. And those starving hillbillies are gonna clap for it.
Man, I fucking hope like hell EBT gets cut off November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Not only because it would just be good for everybody to see all the welfare queens be exposed for the deadbeat parents they absolutely are.
Hi, I've seen a couple of these videos with the same type of sentiment. Indignant people talking poorly about people on SNAP benefits. I worked for the Department of Social Services for 15 years before I left to be a stay-at-home mom. So I'm going to get a little insight to all of this. First and foremost, if you receive SNAP benefits, it's because you have applied for SNAP and you've met the criteria, which means you are working, or you have a waiver that says you don't need to work for whatever reason, such as you are disabled or you are taking care of a child in your home. No one is a 38-year-old capable person sitting at home living by themselves, doing nothing but collecting SNAP benefits and playing video games. That's not happening. Also, no illegal immigrants are collecting SNAP benefits. So just want to get that out there right at the bat. As far as people being deadbeat moms, there is a work waiver sometimes if someone is caring for a small child in their home. But this is what SNAP recipients get. So if it's one mom and one child, they're getting $546 a month, approximately, which is less than $9 a day per person. Okay, so let's say people aren't feeding their kids because now SNAP is cut off. What happens next? What happens is if a mandated reporter hears that children aren't being fed, they're going to make a hotline. And Child Protective Services is going to do an investigation. And if that's the only concern they can find is that the family doesn't have food because SNAP benefits are cut off, they're going to try to work with the family to come up with another way. The county is going to try to give them gift cards to the grocery store, and they're going to try to get them to a pantry, and they're going to try to meet their needs some other way. But those resources are limited, and they're going to go fast with all of these people not receiving SNAP next month. So then let's think what's going to happen. If a family can't meet the needs for their children, what happens? The children get removed. And that is worst case scenario for everybody, especially if the only concern is money. That is devastating to a family, traumatizing to children and parents. It is horrific. But okay, let's say that that's what has to happen because there's no money. What happens next is the Department of Social Services is going to contact family, and they're going to try to place the children with family. And the family's going to say, we don't have money to feed our own kids, so I definitely can't feed my sister's kids. And then what's going to happen is the kids are going to go to foster care, right? I mean, I guess that's the idea here. And first of all, there are no foster homes, right? The foster homes are full. People are not signing up to be foster parents. So I don't know where all the pro-lifers are, but they might want to think about doing that. But if we do find an open home, the daily rate for a basic child, which means like there's no other needs or like concerns, is $33 a day. So that's 3 times the amount of food stamps. Just right off the rip. And then older kids get more per day. And then if there are any other circumstances, they might get a special rate. $71 a day, $110 a day, $132 a day. And if all of those foster homes are full, then kids are going to go to residential care. And residential care is hundreds of dollars a day per child. So not only is this not good for children emotionally or families emotionally, but it's also a really poor fiscal plan. So I don't know why on earth anybody would say, let's stop SNAP benefits to show people who deadbeat parents really are, as if that's going to prove anything. Because in the United States right now, at least, we don't actually let children starve to death in their homes. So what do you want to have happen? You want them to be removed from their parents and given to other people? Okay, great, then you're paying a minimum 3 times the amount you would for SNAP. So what is the end game here? No one who is capable of working is sitting home not working. If you are receiving SNAP benefits, you're already working, or you have a waiver to not work. So I'm just not sure who these people are talking about. It's not real. It's not reality-based. And I know that the majority of people who need to see this video will never see this video, and I understand that. I also understand that if they do receive this video, they're not going to comprehend this video. But I'm happy to answer any questions people might have about government assistance, government benefits, and foster care.
Okay, this video explains better than anything else I've seen why these SNAP cuts are going to devastate everybody, even the people who say, oh, I don't care if they have SNAP or not. Just watch this.
Every single person in this country benefits from food stamps, even if you yourself don't receive them. And if you don't believe me, here's a story about Mary. She gets $150 in SNAP benefits every single month. She spends $50 of that at Diane's farm every month getting fresh produce. It's great. She gets good food. Diane gets an income. But next month, benefits are cut off. So Mary can't go to the stand. But it's not just Mary that can't go. It's the 50 other families that also use their SNAP benefits at Diane's. So now 50 families plus Mary aren't getting fresh food. And Diane has lost out on thousands of dollars of income, which is absolutely catastrophic as a small local farmer. She was going to use that money to replace the tractor that broke down so that she could keep farming. So now she literally can't keep farming. So she's not only not providing food to families on SNAP, she's not able to provide food to the community at large. And the person who was going to sell her that tractor, he was going to get a commission. And what was he planning to use that commission for? To pay for his mother's health insurance that she just lost. She needs medication every single month. And so now she has to scrape together whatever penny she has to try to pay for her medication, which means she can't get the mold in her apartment repaired, which means the repair person she was going to pay, she can't come in and do the repair. So she's lost out on income too. And the store that the repair person goes to buy things to make the repairs, they're seeing declining sales because people are making less repairs. So the store has less repairs, the repair person has less work, the mom doesn't have health insurance, he hasn't made a sale. She doesn't have a tractor. Food isn't being made. People on SNAP aren't eating. Do you not see how it's all connected? Even if you don't have a shred of integrity that says, oh, I just want people to have food. I just want people to eat. Do you not see how it's all, even if you don't have it in you to care about people just having food, can you at least see how programs like SNAP being shut down literally do affect you?
Also, remember that Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They could end this shutdown tomorrow if they wanted to. They could also find funds for SNAP, just like they're finding funds to pay ICE. They also could take some of the money that they're sending to Argentina and put it towards these SNAP payments, but they simply don't.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly. My education is in behavior analysis. I am an artist and a published author. I use the hashtag learning while white because that's exactly what I'm doing. If you're white, I want you to join this walk with me. We have to own the history that built this country and unlearn the false stories we were handed. If you're black and you're following me, thank you so much for being with me here. I'm not here to speak for people of color. I'm here to shine a light on our shared history, the parts white people weren't taught, and the parts we need to face if we're going to do better. I'm not an expert. I'm an avid learner. I dig into history, psychology, and behavior, and then I bring it here so we can wrestle with it together. Sometimes it's heavy, but it's always real.
Millions of MAGA Republicans use SNAP benefits too. And who has the White House and conservative media been training them over the last couple of weeks to blame when they lose their SNAP benefits in November? I don't know if this is an issue people have been considering when we're talking about the consequences of what's going to happen when people don't have food to eat in November and they start seeing their children starving. But this is something that's starting to keep me up at night. Because see, when MAGA Republicans lose their SNAP benefits and they don't have food to feed to their kids, everyone is assuming that they're going to turn against the Trump administration, that they're going to somehow flip blue. And y'all, I'm just not convinced that that's going to happen. As somebody who grew up around these people, I'm not convinced that that's going to happen. They have been told over and over and over again that the reason that the government is shut down and then the reason that they're going to lose their food benefits is because the Democrats are keeping the government shut down. And to ground level MAGA Trump supporters that are on SNAP benefits that are just trying to survive, they're not seeing the difference between congressional Democrats and the Democrat that lives down the street from them. They're all the same. They're all the same to them. And obviously, a natural consequence of this is going to be a rise in looting and theft. There's going to be runs on grocery stores. But a secondary consequence of this is that there are going to be people pissed off looking for somebody to take out their anger on. You can't convince me otherwise that MAGA Republicans on SNAP benefits who have been told over and over and over again that Democrats are the reason their kids are going to go hungry every night in November, that when they see their neighbor down the street that they know votes Democrat, that has the same job as them, makes the same amount of money as them, lives on the same street as them, eating on Thanksgiving, and they're starving and have nothing in their pantry, that they're not going to blame that neighbor down the street. Not going to go and maybe steal all the food out of their house and cause physical harm to them and their family. You're talking about people that are so deep into the cult, they are so far gone that they will never blame Donald Trump for anything that has ever happened to them. Everything bad that happens to them over the next 3 years, they're going to blame on the Democrats. These people losing their SNAP benefits and watching their children starve is not going to be what's going to flip them. They are not going to turn against the Trump administration. They're just going to find somebody else to blame. And
I'm not sure how to feel anymore about everything that's going on. So everyone's in an uproar.
Nope. You guys don't get to do this shit now. Nope.
I don't feel warm and cozy about this one. I don't agree with taking people's food, their resources to survive.
Were you this upset when Donald Trump cut USAID from Sudan and Congolese people? You know, the moment he did it, 3 weeks later, 300 soup kitchens in Sudan no longer had funding or the food? This is the fucking problem with Trump supporters. They only start to give a fuck when it affects their brother or their sister or maybe themselves, right? You don't care about hungry people. You don't care about other people.
All they have left to cling to is their food that they put in their stomachs every day. And if you take...
And his heart grew 3 times larger on this day. Bro, cut the shit, bro. You voted for Trump. This is what happens when you vote for dumbass people to become president, man. Don't know what to tell you.
Threaten people right before the holidays to take away all they have, which is food to feed themselves and their parents or whatever, and the children, right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. But it's ill-timed. It's not cool.
Yeah, buddy. No shit, it's not cool. You know, there's 12 million people right now before this food stamps cut that already didn't know where their next meal was coming from. Now, this is just going to increase that number. But you voted for this shit, bro. Like, what? Bro, you know that the government was going to get shut down. Come on. The first time he was in office, he shut it down twice. Never shut down under Biden. And then, boom. Next presidency of Trump, here's the first government shutdown. You voted for it.
So the fact that they are on this internet street crying that they did not vote for this is not what they anticipated when they voted for Trump. Just like I clearly stated, he said he was going to do exactly what he said he was going to do, and now he's delivering on his promises. And the fact that it's affecting people directly, now they are coming out to cry, right? And I guess people do not understand that once you vote for something that you thought was going to hurt the other person, it's going to come right back at you and hit you where you least expected. That's why it's good to be kind. It's good to consider others once you have the opportunity to vote, or once you have the opportunity to do things of beneficial to everybody. You do it regardless, because it reflects your own character, not the character of what you presume it should be, because you particularly feel you don't like this particular group of people, right? So now that you're getting all what you voted for, so now I want to understand, when you were voting for him, you thought it was going to affect just the people that you thought it was going to affect, and now that is directly affecting you, now you're on the internet crying. So for the people that are saying, yeah, they need to take all the snaps, they need to take all the food stamps, I get it. Some people do come on this social media, and especially beneficiaries of these snaps. Please stop coming on social media and be mocking people that you've gotten food off their taxpayers' money. Stop doing that. These are the things that are aggravating people. If you enjoy from the snaps, if you enjoy from food stamps, why not just go get your stuff and be quiet about it? Why are you on social media trying to make people angry? Because these people are looking for the slightest opportunity to be angry, even at nothing, even at themselves, for voting for what they thought was going to be to their favorable outcome, right? But as it is, things are not turning out the way they expected it to be, and now they are happy that the snaps are being taken away, and that's for the middle class. But for the majority of the poor people that voted for him, and now they are crying because their snaps or their food stamps have been taken away, please, this is what you voted for, and you're enjoying every bit of it. The unfortunate situation is that a lot of people that did not vote for him are the ones suffering too, because that was not what they voted for, right? They voted for the other party, thinking the other party was going to help, right? But since Trump won, it has been from one situation to the next, and it's going to get worse as time approaches. Just like I said, this is just the beginning. Things are going to deteriorate, because this is just 1 year into his presidency, and all of the MAGA are already regretting it, right? So but all I'm saying is to say this, that voting to think that it will affect other people but not you, and this is one of the consequences you are facing. But it's unfortunate that other people are looped into this situation, right? So guys, if you have come far in this video, please hit on the subscribe button, hit on the like button, and before you go, please drop your thoughts in the comment. Let's know what you think about this latest development about MAGA furious that snaps are going to be completely taken away in November. Share this video with your friends, hit on the notification bell in order not to miss any of my videos. See you in the next one. Have a blessed day.